7:02 Unplugged time at 25 minutes to 2 o'clock. It's a Friday, so you know what we do. Other than getting to eat some good food, we listen to some good music. It is the month of Pride this October, and we have in studio Mzansi Gay Choir. And you might be wondering, this is the time to get all your questions answered. 011-883-0702 and the WhatsApp line 0727021702. Joining us in studio are all of the choir members. But chatting to us, we have Musa and Huitsenwe. Oh, Huitsi-one. Lekai? Sharp. So, I mean, who's going to explain to me why you decided to say, okay, I'm gay, you're gay, let's do a choir?
Well, let me explain to you how it happened, my love. Yes, let me tell you.
Because I have to also say, your team has been messaging me for probably 2 years now.
Really?
Yes.
Consistency is key, honey.
Consistency is key, right?
Yeah.
But every time that your team was in touch with me, the timing wasn't right. Then we moved buildings and then we didn't have music. And then I said, guys, it's time. It is time.
And look, it's Pride Month. It is time, Mama.
It is time.
Yes.
So how did this come about?
So actually in 2016, there was an advert, I think it was the Drum magazine, where Kelly Khumalo was looking for 21 gay men.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yes,
it was for
ma'am.
a concert of hers or a recording or a music video, something like that.
Yes, and they put it out like that. But come to find out, it was actually for the feathers, right?
Yes.
And on our very first rehearsal, they
So
then
for
said to-
everybody who does not know what the feathers are, they are awards, the Feather Awards that were established by Tami
Dish, yes.
Dish, and it really is for the LGBTIQ plus community and their allies.
Yes.
I actually saw some nominations went out recently for the Feather Awards. So just
Like last week.
Yes, so just to give context. So it turned out it was for the feathers.
Yes, it turns out it was for the feathers. And on our very first rehearsal, I will never forget, they sat us down and they said, well, listen, you thought it was a one-night thing? It isn't a one-night thing. You guys are going to be activists through song, and this is going to be an official choir. And it's been a beautiful journey. That's how it started, though.
So let me ask the question that maybe some are wondering. When you go to auditions to be part of a gay choir, I can just show up and say, I'm gay. Who's to go and taste You understand what I'm saying? And
Actually,
not to say, in fairness, not to say there's a queue of straight men, rushing to pretend to be gay because, know, of you guys being such a marginalized community. But in real life, I mean, if your gaydars like nothing's pinging,
you are not going to be part of the choir.
How are you going to decide that, you can't?
You know what? Humanity is humanity, and humanity is fluid, right?
Yes.
And so is everything that goes with humanity. Umuntu angeke uzumconfirm,
Yes.
right? So we're not going to go around and investigate you, because we've had a situation before where we had a straight man in the choir, and we just
Did
saw...
you know he was straight?
We didn't know.
Okay.
We only came to find out just a little while after. But still he stayed and he was family until he decided that he was okay now and he wants to take, another path,
What was his interest? Because it would be fascinating to know if it's like, yes, I'm straight, but I really love to sing and this is a space I feel comfortable in, or I want to be part of the activism
of it all.
What was the motivation?
To be quite honest with you, with him in particular, because he was my friend that, by the time that he left, it was Kelly Khumalo not paying attention to detail. He didn't read the word gay.
Oh my God.
He realized once he was at the audition and he was like, oh, okay, so this is,
wow.
And he didn't know how to say it, and it's a while after and we're like, sweetie, but you're not giving what you're supposed to give. So what's what's happening? And then he was like, I got lokum na guys in the street, and then it was like, oh, okay. But still, even then it was like, you know what, you're already part of the family.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I also, the question will always come up to say, how is this not discriminating against a group of people? But I think what you touched on about humanity, because if the purpose is activism, it's not about exclusion as it is about, bringing awareness. So let's use that opportunity. And I don't know which one of you want to respond. What are some of the issues that still remain in the community that you need to be activists?
Some of the biggest issues, I think, besides just marginalization, of course, and misrepresentation across social media, what we watch on TV, and within spaces of academic spaces and corporate spaces. There are various things besides just like the violence that is targeted towards queer people or gay people in this particular case, and there are also various, shall I say, gatekeeping instances. For example, if they know that you are effeminate somebody or an effeminate male, automatically it's like opportunities are starting to get cut off for you, which is why we end up having men who end up conforming to trying to look masculine and masculine so that they can hide this.
Well, don't they refer to it as straight presenting gay men?
Yes. So they end up having to live this, I want to say, facade so that they can get these opportunities and also not feel excluded or marginalized in this particular case. And this is where now the voice, the gay choir, comes in and speaks up against these particular issues, or we are practically like a platform, if I can put it like that, for these particular people to just voice themselves more than anything, and also to just be present, because the moment we keep quiet, the more these injustices prevail, if I can put it like that, and the moment a lot of these things are brushed over, or shall I say, pushed under the carpet. So if something is in front of you and is right in your face, I think you are less likely to avoid it, if I can put it like that, and you are less likely to overlook it, if I can put it like that. So yeah.
It being Pride Month, what are some of the other issues that you'd like addressed? I'm a massive ally to the community, and I try my best in everything that I'm doing to be as inclusive as possible. I don't believe anybody should be discriminated for any parts of who they are. And I don't just say that for the gay community, but the entire community. What are the challenges or things you'd like to share about Pride? I mean, on the one hand, we are so fortunate we live in a country where, the Constitution is beautiful. I saw recently, and I can't remember which country it is, but they were announcing, I think it's somewhere in Europe, that gay couples will no longer be allowed to use a surrogate, which means now the options of being parents are so limited. So in a country like ours, where we have, I had a guest on my talk show who was a refugee here because it's illegal to be gay in his country, and now he's found refuge in Canada because our country did not help him fast enough and his life was continuously in danger.
Yes.
So taking all of that into context, what would you say about this month of Pride in terms of, yes, there's some progress we've made, but there's other challenges as well?
There is. I wanna touch on the progress first, because I am so proud of the country that I live in, guys. From the suburbs to the hood, there is so much evolution, and it's not like long ago. This is something that has happened within the past 10 years, So for my uncle to be able to educate himself, my mother, my friend, my neighbor, to be able to understand me, right? And that's why also representation matters. Seeing us on TV and understanding the community itself and spectrum that it is, is very vital. A major thing for me as well is internalized homophobia, right? There is a lot of internalized homophobia, and it's gotten to a point where somebody even said the other day, the biggest homophobes are within the community, and how do we expect to heal the people externally if we internally are an issue,
And do you mean that in the sense that there are divisions within the community? For example, I've heard that, gay men and lesbian women just don't like each other. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean the community as a whole in the group of, in inverted commas, non-hetero conforming individuals? There is self-hatred within that entire group.
My lovings, category and subcategory and sub-subcategory.
All of
Everybody
it.
within the culture.
Yes.
Yes. It's mainly, specifically for me as a queer individual, as a gay man, right, quote unquote. Firstly, within the gay community, Between the lesbians and the gays, I think that's somebody's personal opinion from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that it's not there, but usually it has to be a personal experience with you. But in terms of the community itself, and I'm not going to speak much on the lesbian community, because they're part of they're my family, but they're my cousin. You know what I mean? So I can't speak for.
No, and also because you're siblings, you also fight amongst.
Of course,
because you are families.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But I had a thought as you were speaking, and we're not going to have time to delve into it today. As you were speaking, I just connected the idea of how, for example, people will say women don't like each other or gays don't like each other, right? But hear me out. Maybe because all these groups are marginalized, you feel like the life raft is so small, you're trying to save yourself. And the people you're surrounded with are your people because you're all drowning in the ocean together. That's why we'll find ourselves in positions where it's like, oh, women don't like each other. Please create space for everybody. Then there won't be room to not like one another because we're not going to be fighting. So the same for your community and all other minority groups that are trying to make themselves feel seen and heard. And I'm sure you'll find people in the community of persons living with albinism, for example, who might feel like, why is it always the same people here and the same people? What about us? Now they will be fighting in there to say, what about me? So I just had that thought. I want to hear some music. What are you guys going to be performing for us today?
We're going to give you a good, what are we doing? Oh, yes, we're doing As Good As Nice. I was looking for the order.
Yes.
We're doing As Good As Nice for you. We are doing a little prayer for you.
Yes.
And we are also doing In Lovu because we love Loy. We love DJ Zinhle.
Yes.
That's what we're giving.
So you pick out, these commercial well-known songs and you sort of make them your own and you make it a vibe.
Yes, ma'am. If
I'm
Beyonce was 21 gay men from South Africa.
It is you. And just please give a shout out to all of the other members that are not on the mic.
Of course. Ulail, Lola, Mama, hi. Tammy. Abigail, the gorgeous Abigail, our sister in harmony.
Labon. Everybody's going to say, you see, they don't like each other.
And Reba. Reba one.
There we go. Reba one.
Yes.
Thank you so much. When we come back, we hear some music. And guys, please know, when you sing on radio, anything that doesn't go amazing, it's because Lidi.
Again? Oh, no, but we come correct.
No.
You come correct.
We come correct.
Yeah, we're
Please
prepared.
do. We
We'll
also
blame it
want
on
to know.
technical.
We also want to know whether you're a choir.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Ala.
bambelela qinisela uzophumelela uzophumelela bambelela qinisela uzophumelela uzophumelela
kuhlala uhlelo lila ayibomi yabulungia ngoba wena uyindlovu ujongene nexesha alijiki alihambia ngoba wena uyindlovu ubuhlungu naphakade alinzima kuncuma ayamandla wasekho ukhanyisele mtasekhaya lifikile nawe uba wena uyindlovu Sithemba dokwenyuka intaba zonke izizwe bonke abanye bazobona kum ngindlovu soze ndalila sithemba dokwenyuka intaba zonke izizwe bonke abanye bazobona kum abanye bazobona kudindlovu zonzinganyelakithemba lokunyuka intaba zonke izizwe bonke abanye bazobona kudindlovu lela
Fridays mean Unplugged on 702.